Mystery Booster is one of Jake's favorite products ever, and it's getting a sequel with Mystery Booster 2, but good luck getting it if you're not going to a Magic Con, because you're only going to be able to obtain it through a secret lair. Festival in a Box returns!
We've got Festival in a Box to go over today. We're going to get into it dressed like a Sriracha bottle today, because it might get spicy.
Oh. Enormous shout out to all of our little critters over on our Patreon. You are the bloom in our burrow, and we couldn't do it without you. Y'all are the cutest creatures around. You all get one boop on your snoot each. Jake and Joel Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to have stores compete over your wallet to buy your MTG cards. Also Drip Shop, where you can find us live, streaming, giving away a ton of product, lots of fun games and auctions over there, exclusive product that you can only get from us on those streams. Make sure to follow us over on Drip Shop.
We're also brought to you by Dragon Shield,
Moxfield,
and MTG Stocks.
All right, Jake, give us some context with this on Mystery Booster 1. You love this product.
Well, I loved Mystery Booster Retail Edition Wave 1, the very first thing that came out. And if people don't remember, it was a product that was given to local game stores as a way to boost revenue during the pandemic times. If we recall correctly, I think it was right around then. The boxes came out, they were under $100. You could pull stuff like Mana Crypt. It also had, like, in the foil slot, stuff like foil Amulet of Vigor, foil Shizo, foil Minamo. There were a lot of really good cards that you could pull in it, and I actually prefer the box that has the foil slot over the box that has playtest cards. And then later we got Mystery Booster Convention Edition, which at the time everybody was going crazy for. Those boxes at one point were over $1,000. People were freaking out about getting the playtest cards that actually had the Planeswalker symbol in the bottom left. And then we got a Wave 2 of Convention Edition that came out after that. I think like a year later, as far as the timeline goes. And that was Wave 2. It didn't have the Planeswalker symbol on the playtest cards. And again, no foils. So we had Mystery Booster 1 Retail Edition, which had a really fire foil slot, and the box is just gas. You can pull stuff like Mana Crypt, like we already said. And then you had Convention Edition Wave 1 and Convention Edition Wave 2. Wave 1 has the Planeswalker symbol. Wave 2 does not. However, all those playtest cards have undergone a huge correction in price, and a lot of those big inflated prices that they had that gave Convention Edition so much value have really kind of fizzled out now that we are here in 2024. There is a lot of Mystery Booster 1, what players would learn, and then you have Mystery Booster 2, which we also anticipate is going to be a lot.
Yeah, Gen Con announced Mystery Booster 2. Wizards did at Gen Con, and they announced it as this is going to be a convention exclusive experience. The way that Morrow talked about this on his blog is that conventions, like referring to a section of their company, a group of people that all work on a specific thing at Wizards of the Coast, conventions came up with this product, funded the product, meaning assigned part of their budget, part of their yearly budget to it. So the money to even make this came from conventions, and they designed it as a convention exclusive product. I'm only saying that so specifically and adamantly to say that they've been very clear that this product is not going to be available otherwise, period, other than Festival in a Box, Secret Lair, what we assume right now is going to be a one-time sale. And they're doing that because Wizards has always been really good about catering to parts of the community that may not be able to make it out to conventions, may not be able to travel for whatever reason, make it out there, whatever. And so that is the availability of this product. The only other thing we know about the availability of this product is that Gavin has said, not specifically, but said there will be a lot of this. This will be available for a while. There are quotes with Gavin confirming that this isn't going to be like, only in 2024, only in 2025 kind of thing. This could be ongoing for a long time, and they reprint Mystery Booster 2 a lot. Jake, I think that's why there's no gigantic hits like Mana Crypt or anything like that. There's some cool cards, don't get us wrong. The gimmick of this one, they've got playtest back. They've brought white border back, which is a huge gimmick and cool. You couldn't see this any other place. I'm not saying that white border is cool. I'm saying that it's cool that they have a place where white border can come back as a fun option that doesn't get in the way of the aesthetic of the set where it's appearing, that doesn't seem like a ridiculous gimmick versus, just one of the gimmicks that's in a gimmicky set to begin with. And then we're also getting the Future Sight frame. So, I mean, like this right here, what you're seeing, white border, playtest, and Future Sight, this is what they're offering the collector side of things, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And really quick, for anybody who doesn't know what this product is, it's a chaos draft, which means that there's a huge list of cards in this, and no draft is really going to be the same. You're just going to have a ton of cards that are spread across all different sets, and they're all in here. You're going to have cards that are authentic, that are, well, all these cards are authentic, but you're going to have cards that are reprints.
Cards that have only been in digital. Such a cool thing here.
Cards that have only been in digital.
Alchemy cards.
This is weird.
Yeah. So crazy.
And yeah, the alchemy cards do have the acorn symbol, which means that they're not going to be legal in, they're respected in any formats. But, you can rule zero stuff all you want.
Make your own rules.
Yeah, make your own rules, especially if you got a house game or commander or however you're playing. For me on this, I do like it. There's nothing for me about this other than the draft experience, which I do put a lot of value on, which is a really cool draft experience. You get to play these playtest cards. Again, I'm not super keen on the playtest cards. It's just not something I look for as a collector, especially seeing how the playtest cards, how that kind of shook out from Mystery Booster Convention 1 and then with Wave 2, and just the massive fallout in the price of those cards. There was a lot of value put on the playtest cards in the early convention edition, and so fast forward to now, I would say don't put a lot of value on these. It's cool, they're fun to play, but don't think that you're going to be making a lot of money off of the playtest cards. Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a monetary play, but I was going to say from the play aspect of these playtest cards, it feels like Mystery Booster 2 is offering us some stuff, and you can see here that is a little bit better in Commander than some of the ones that we got in the first wave. They're a little less, like Super Mimi, Jund them out, let's be real. But that's somewhat playable. Avison's Collar can attack, block, transform, activated abilities can't be activated, and it just shuts them off for 3. That's a really playable card. Very playable. And so it seems like this time those may be more of an option for playability. And then you're going to have individual cards like this, where it's art that's never been featured on a card, also appearing in a Future Sight frame.
This is where the stock and the value is, right?
Exactly.
Because like Urza and then, Thoracle, which is right above it.
Right.
The Soul Ring
These
swords.
in foil.
Right. So I definitely see the value here, but do keep in mind, it's like we were saying, about 30th anniversary edition, and I don't mean to bring, oh my God, the sky's falling 30th anniversary edition. But it was like the point that we made when that product came out, which was just because a card is rare, keep in mind it's being printed in the present. It's coming out in 2024.
Right.
So a Future Sight border card printed in 2024 is not the same as a Future Sight foil from when that set came out. The same is true with all of the 30th anniversary edition stuff. Yes, they reprinted a Black Lotus, technically a proxy version of it, a reprint with the back of the card is different, but it's a Black Lotus reprint that came out. When was that? 2022, 2023?
Yeah.
So yeah, keep that in mind. Just something like, just because it's a new fancy thing or and it reminds you of something vintage doesn't mean it's actually vintage. All these retro cards that come out these days, they're not actually retro. They have a retro aesthetic, but they're not vintage at all. The stuff is coming out.
Okay, so think about this comparison, however, though. So retro old border cards, new reprint old border cards. That's not new anymore. We've got a ton of those. We had a set where the precons were all those. And so the market is flooded with retro frame, new print stuff of all the staple stuff too. Swords, Soul Ring, all your Staple Commander cards. Now, that I think I understand what point you're making. These aren't going to be as expensive. Like if this was a foil reprint of some 7th edition foil card, those two prices aren't going to line up. But
bro, like had Soul Ring been printed in this treatment in the original Future Sight,
for sure,
would that be one of the most expensive Commander cards?
Of course.
Yes.
However, that's not to say that these aren't going to have value potentially based on longevity of the set and print run, etc., all the things that affect these types of things. Because look, less than 5% of future frames appear in traditional foil. So
that's the chase.
If you want the foil foil Future Sight frame, I'm gonna nail all the frame names at some point in my life.
I'm following you.
If you're gonna get a
Let's
foil
go.
Future Sight Soul Ring, you're gonna have to track down somebody who pulled the 5% card, who pulled the specific card at a 5% rate, I should say. So it's way even lower than that.
Out of a set that's huge.
Out of a set that's enormous, you're talking about card quantity. Viewer right now, if a set is 200 cards, 300 cards, we're talking about a set that's hundreds and hundreds of cards. I don't know it off the top of your... Oh my God. Bro.
Yeah.
A typical set is like 200 to 400, somewhere in there. Talking about just the main cards in the set, not all the additional treatments and stuff. 1,800 cards.
Yeah.
Specifically
so
to get that
reference,
one
a set
thing,
is typically like $349, I think.
Yeah, that's why I said 200 to 400. It's somewhere in there. I don't know the exact number.
With all the variants these days, I think it's $349.
I mean, you're talking. I'm just talking about like the base versions of the main cards in the set. The point is like these are going to be really rare. If you're pulling a foil Future Sight Soul Ring, that's not going to be a cheap card. Especially,
or we saw someone pull
gate.
the foil counter spell, that kind of thing.
Yes, that's that is where you're gonna get the value in this set. Is the playable cards that people want, special pimp versions that are gonna make people go ooh and ah.
And there is a full list. I'm pretty sure I was cruising through here, where you can see a list of the cards that appear in the set.
So it's down here at the very, very bottom. You can actually click on and see every single card sorted by color. They just put it on its own page here. I mean, there's a ton of stuff, dude.
I don't even know if this is the full list, is it?
Other reprinted cards as well as alchemy, playtest, and new to cards. Oh no, card image gallery. They did put this whole card image gallery up now.
Wow. Okay. So now you got the playtest cards. Wow. So yeah, this is definitely a good resource for you. We'll make sure to put chapters in this video so that people can kind of skip around. But
dude, like this art on the Iona card in the white border, like that is what this really set interesting. Oh, dude, Giver in man, that's what this set is going to deliver, is cards like this where you're going to see them in foil on the table and go, wow, that is really sick, and I really, really want that. So yeah,
this is also a good note here while we're on a set that came out with 1,800 reprints. We're not 1,800 total, but 1,800 cards. We talk about how, in the past, Magic had to look for good opportunities to reprint cards into sets that were thematic. Well, not anymore. So it really is at the point where if you have superfluous copies of cards, if it's not getting reprinted in a secret layer or in a regular set or coming out in a special guest slot in a collector booster or
special guest,
it might end up in a 1,800 card set of mystery boosters as well. So I know some people are going to be like, well, that's a massive sample size. Well, there's still a ton of this that's going to be going into circulation. So there will be more.
Let's not pull the panic. Let's not push the panic button necessarily, because like this kind of set is also, you're not going to have the One Ring reprinted in here. You're not going to have Mana Vault reprinted in here. You're not going to have even $50 cards, $30 cards, most likely reprinted into here that are that way coming out of the gate. I feel like this set almost exists. Not that, I mean, and I agree with you. There's a ton of opportunities. Reprints are just all over the place nowadays. But with this one, I feel like it's not necessarily we're going to reprint the cards that are high value to drive the purchase. We're going to reprint low value stuff in new exclusives, foilings and treatments and frames, that's how we're going to get the reprint machine running on this 1800 card set. Not so much, we're not going to reprint.
Yeah, I do like new art. Like new art on stuff is really cool, right?
Yeah.
Like if we're getting a new Urza, it's cool that we're getting new art on it. Now, not all of the stuff has new art. We've talked about the Future Sight border, but the other appeal with this is white border,
right?
Which is more of like a meme. It's
For
something that, we see it on everybody's dual lands unless you're really, balling and you got those foreign black border or betas or whatever. But this is going to bring more white border cards into existence for anybody who's like white border cube, or like anybody who's like, I've been waiting for more white border cards for my deck. Maybe you want to just run a meme. You're going to be getting some love. You're going to be eating in this set. So yeah, it looks silly, but it's cool seeing, like, for example, the legendary frame in white, right?
It's almost hard to look at. It is an interesting thing. It is kind of off-putting and makes me want to look away, but also I can't stop staring. Man, there have been various times where, I've made all the basics in my commander deck be white border so that they're very easily searchable. Like I can just flick through the whole deck in an instant and search for a basic in a 3 or 4 color deck, right? I don't have to spend any time looking for that. But I've never gone the full meme. But like I said, I think it's just cool that they're taking an opportunity to reprint a frame where it just doesn't make sense anywhere else other than like maybe an unset. But even there, like you're not going to reprint Uro Titan's Wrath or Wasteland into an unset. And so you get some playable commander cards. I just think it's neat. That's kind of how I feel about it.
And it's cool throwback art on Wasteland as well. It's like we're getting a reprint of this art in white border. Like the memes are firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah. I don't care about this frame. I don't really want any of them in my deck, but I think it's neat. And that's kind of where I fall on that. Jake, that is one major piece of the way that you can get this. So that's only an event exclusive, like we explained at the convention, or you can buy it through the festival in a box. And that brings up a whole other discussion. So that's kind of our breakdown of Mystery Booster 2 and what we think of the, ways that they approached it and what is in it and what you could pull potentially. I think with the kind of baseline TLDR of that being, it's going to be a cool draft experience, but like, we're not cracking this for value or anything. We're not, it's like a fun to open pack or a fun to draft set. And like, maybe there'll be some cool cards you can pick up out of it.
Extremely fun. Right. It will be an extremely fun set to play and participate in, but we're entering the part of the video where we get into
the value. The value is the value a piece.
What is the value component of MagicCon Festival in a box? So this is the round 2 of this.
So this one will be available like a secret layer. Now, well, I guess we should caveat that, Jake. Secret layers, if you haven't been plugged in the last 6 months or so, are suddenly hard to get again, kind of. You have to be there at the beginning, wait in line, and that's really... I haven't heard of anybody, Jake, and you can tell me if you've heard different, who's been there on time, ready to go, signed in, have their account, credit card attached to their account, whole 9 yards, and not been able to get it. Have you heard anybody?
I do know Monty Python sold out pretty quick, and there were actually people who got in, waited through the whole line, and then got kicked out at the end because it sold out.
So the most recent one, they kind of misjudged what their quantity was going to need to be.
Yeah, but I have been there for example, all of the Hatsune Miku ones and have had no issue where it's like, I get in, I wait 20 or 30 minutes. I think on the last one, I waited 45 minutes. But then it kicked me into the queue. I was able to get my stuff and easy peasy. It's already been sent to me.
I think this one will have a lot of demand, but I'm assuming they have a lot of quantity of this. There's no reason for them to underprint Mystery Booster 2 because they know that it's kind of a years-long play, probably the way they've talked about it. We can kind of glean that. And so that shouldn't be a limiting factor here. I would assume that the promo pack is not a limiting factor here. I would assume that is just a button you press, send us 10,000 more Ponder promos for the year 2024, and that's easy to obtain. The secret layer, maybe, but if you anticipate that they wanted to put this with this festival in a box, you would also then anticipate, I would assume, that you needed a lot of it. And then the boosters, they've got infinite of those. So, like, do you think that the availability will be a problem on this one?
Demand will be high. People, I think, the demand, just because, the price of all of this, for anybody who doesn't know, it's $250. I don't know what that's going to be after tax and shipping, but
$250 for all of it. It's got about $356 worth of value. Huge thanks to Spectre, by the way, mod and producer on the channel, for putting this together.
MTG Metrics. If you want to go check out his channel, he likes to dive into. Yeah, you can find the link to his channel, Spectre. We really do appreciate you. But yeah, people are going to see this, air quotes, free tendies kind of thing and be like, if I pay $250, I get $350 worth of stuff.
Exactly.
I get a draft box, which has whatever kind of value you want to say it has.
Right.
But I do agree with you with the promos, the secret layer, and the packs. Obviously, they have a ton of these packs waiting in the wings. The packs are really good value. Wilds of Eldraine has the Enchanting Tail slot. You could pull a Confetti Foil Rhystic Study. LCI has special guest Mana Crypt and special guest Mana Crypt. It also has all of the Neon Cavern of Souls. There's really good chase stuff in there. And then you also have the Commander Masters booster pack, which we all know is a stacked set filled with all sorts of fun stuff, and that's like a $50 booster by itself.
Best, if you've got money, CMM, this is a tangent, but if you've got money, best value to just like build a Commander collection instantly if you're just obsessed with the idea of I have to buy a box of something. That set, bro, it's like every single card in there is a foundational card for a Commander collection. Anyway, continue. Yes, very good value
in the rings in there. You've got command towers. You have like good commons.
All the common and uncommon non-basics that are good to have.
Tons of really good stuff in there. But then
$100 then together of collector booster value right now. You can see right here, just over 50, just over 20, and nearly 30. Totals out to just over $110. Right.
Yeah. So the packs there, carefully chosen. I think that was a smart choice to not put anything in there that doesn't have like a big chase card.
Dope artifacts, dope enchantments, and dope cards. Yeah, hell yeah.
So even if you're like getting this and you're like, I want to keep my mystery box sealed until I have some friends to draft with, or maybe you just want to shelf it, you still got some fun collector packs heading your way. And then Joel, I do agree with you. If you're printing this promo pack and it's filled with silly stuff like, Ponder, a playtest card, and, a basic land and a swords,
right?
Like, sure, these are all cards that are, have been printed massively over the years. I think the Ponder is cool. I like the big differences in art on these. You have a Plains, which has like a Lotus Cloud Plains, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, there should just be tons of these. And then I feel the same way about the secret layer as well. They went with the cute Planeswalkers. You got Chibi. The Chibi adorable Omnath, which I think is great. And then stuff like Draina and Rhea.
Yeah.
I like the choices.
Draina and Omnath represent the most playability here. Orvar's got some niche, like I'm a interesting build commander kind of specific picks are necessary commander. Rhea has been just sort of power crept out, but is still a dope card. And then Lavinia is more narrow in its need. It's kind of a CDH, higher, spikier level card. But I really like the Draina. I really like the Omnath in here. And then the others just are kind of cool. I like Ponder as a choice on these. Any card as a promo that is a 4-of card, really good choice in my opinion. And that's what Ponder is. Swords, standard, always going to be a playable card. So yeah, I mean, the thing is like each individual piece, I'm like, yeah, interesting. But more than for me, the last festival in a box, this one collectively feels like more of a purchase. What do you think?
Well, it's hard not to favor something that when you look at the numbers, it's like it's $250 or however much it's going to be after tax and shipping. Let's say 275, 280, something like that. You're still getting $350 worth of stuff.
Yeah, plus I don't think they also have collector
stuff,
boosters on here, so it's even closer to like 400.
Or yeah, sure, or 375 ish,
yeah.
375, 380.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're getting that kind of value from it, I do think that there are going to be people that are lined up day one, but I think unlike a normal secret layer product, right? Say at this last one, I wanted to get the Monty Python cards.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been like lined up with like $100 ready to go and buy 4 of the Monty Pythons at, or excuse me, 3 of the Monty Pythons at $30 a layer,
right?
Versus people that have to spend $250 to get all of this. I think that $250 price is going to be a big ask for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unlike the other secret layer products where if you wanted one foil Hatsune Miku and one non-foil Hatsune Miku, you could do that for $70 out the door and just get those. And so anybody who's just an enthusiast that was just like, oh yeah, I want this. I want both Monty Python. I want, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You could kind of nickel and dime it. Whereas this is like, you got to pay this big price out the gate to get everything. And yes, there is value there, but also, you know, the future sight foils, the white border cards, the playtest cards, are you into that? Because that's the main meat of what's going on here is that mystery pack.
If you're just going to crack them, or do you have the play group that's going to be able to use this to play with and get more enjoyment out of it? Because you're right. I mean, you're talking in the realm of like, am I buying a new video game this month, aka 2 secret layers, or am I buying a new console this month, aka Festival in a Box? So it's definitely a trade-off of where you want to put your doll hairs.
Yeah, because there were people that were like, they went in and they bought 10 Monty Pythons.
Right.
And so, yeah, some people are going to have the bankroll for this and other people are going to be priced out and they're going to be like, no, I can't afford 250, even if it is giving me 380 worth of value. If I did indeed want to resell it, you know, it's time and it's money. There's fees that you have to take. So it really comes down to you're still spending, you know, $275, even if you are getting more money back. It's all just an asset until you decide to do something with it. So if you're opening, if you're just like, man, I'm just looking for value, dude. I'm just looking to like crack some packs and get a lot out of my pack opening experience, then sure, I think it's probably good at 250. You know, it's probably like, it really comes down to how much are people going to value the future sight foils and how readily available are they going to be? Like how many future sight cards are going to appear in packs? Like for example, if there's one future sight card per pack and it has a 5% chance of being foil, then we know that there's only ever one future sight card in a pack. But say there's 5 future sight cards that appear in a pack, like you pulled this one and this one and this one, then you know that 5% means less.
Right.
But I do think it's probably only one per pack.
The secret layer itself is going to be on sale, $250, limit 3 per customer. Just full transparency, our plans on this one, we think that this will be a good one for the channel, the business of the JAJAM channel to own as an asset. And so we're going to try and get 3 for the channel to then use in like drip streams and various patron events, giveaways, things like that. I'm not going to be getting this personally. Jake, are you picking this one up?
Yeah, I'll be picking up one bundle for myself.
Just to
so
have.
I'll be picking up one Festival in a Box.
Do you have any plans for the individual pieces out of the gate, or are you just getting it because it seems like a good piece? Good pickup.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll probably save the box because I like having some boxes saved. I've got a little bit of a sealed collection, and so I'll be saving the Mystery Booster 2 box because I have one retail. I have one convention from MB1, and so I'll just be saving this one just to kind of add to that. But then, yeah, I'll probably crack open the collector packs for funsies and, you know, maybe get lucky. You know, that's another thing about those collector packs is they all have really good high-end hits in them. You know, this is something that Wizards of the Coast hasn't had in the past. In a past product, pre-collector years, they would have probably just included, you know, like maybe like a draft box of a current set to go along with it, or they would have maybe done, you know, like a few draft packs of like a couple recent sets.
Bundles,
and people would have
whatever
been kind of
bundles
low
they
on
were
that.
sitting on.
Yeah, like they might have done something like that, or they might have just been like 3 draft packs of this, 3 draft packs of this, 3 draft packs of this, and then your mystery box and like a pack of promos.
Right. Like
but I do agree that it looks more attractive this time around, you know, having some actually good collector packs. Like if the collector packs were, you know, like let's say Brothers War and, you know, something like Theros Beyond Death, like just old kind of like boring ones, I would be less enthusiastic, but these ones are a pretty good assortment.
Those are our thoughts on Festival in a Box and Mystery Booster 2. If you feel like you got any value out of this video, we'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100K sometime next year. Get that little number going with some zeros. We'd appreciate your help. All these people that you see their names scrolling us right here in the middle of us, they've already helping us out. Those are our patrons at our $10 level. They got some free Dragon Shield sleeves, didn't they, Jake?
They did. We really do appreciate all of our patrons. That's why we're shouting you out here at the end, everyone at the enthusiast level or higher. And we also do appreciate all of our subscribers here on YouTube. You power the channel as well, and we appreciate you being here to get our thoughts on Mystery Booster 2.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!